Good to be with you today, and welcome to this meditation. This week we are into the Reign of Christ Sunday. It is the last Sunday of the church year, and then the following week we start the new year, which is the first Sunday of Advent. But before we get going too far, we want to remind you that as you go to the grocery store, if you could pick up a few extra items and bring those to the church, put them in the grocery cart down in the guard room, as this is food pantry month for us. We'd appreciate it very much. Also, we continue to be in stewardship season. The finance committee has set these 4 weeks apart and has been giving gifts for those who come each and every week, and we have been in this sermon series of the gifts of God. So we remind you that with your letter from the finance committee, you've got a pledge card. And the finance committee would like those back by this Sunday or as soon as you could, as we look forward to putting our budget together for next year, that we might have some understanding of how much money we might be able to use. Excuse me. So that means our sermon series, the gifts of God, or the gifts of love. We have talked about the gift of commandment, the mission, the purpose that God gives us, the gift of giving, the joy that comes when we give of ourselves and of our time and our talent and our treasures, the gift of community, what a joy it is being a part of the body of Christ. And this week, on the Reign of Christ Sunday, we talk about the gift of Christ in our life. And so for this week, we go to the book of Revelation. We go to that visionary, John of Patmos, and see what he has to say for us. Specifically in Revelation, we are in the prologue, the introduction, specifically verse 4 through 8 of the first chapter. And John begins by saying basically, grace and peace to you from the one who is, who was, and who is to come. Okay? That's heavy stuff. Okay? First, he opens it up with grace and peace, these rare commodities in our life, wishing that upon us, blessing us with grace and peace. That gives us value and dignity. And then John goes in to explain who Jesus is, right? Jesus as a witness to God's love for all of creation, but also Jesus as ruler of all creation. He then reminds us of what Jesus has done for us. Specifically, John tells us that Jesus has loved us and freed us into loving others. And then he tells us what the appropriate response of the church should be to who Jesus is and what Jesus has done. Right? That is to be an example of Christ in our life. That is to discern Christ's will for us on our life. That is to bring others into the reign of Christ. One of the ways that we do that is through our budget and through our giving. But what I really want to share with you is, for me, as I read Revelation, and there's lots of thoughts on the book of Revelation, what it means, where it comes from, why it's there in our Bible. For me, this visionary, this dreamer, John of Patmos, he has a theology of more. A theology of more. That with Christ, there is always more. That there's always more transformation available, always more power, always more dignity. We want to make sure that John is big on dignity and value of people. That there's always more love. That there's always more freedom. That there is always more hope. This book of Revelation, this dream of John of Patmos, is about more. About what more God can do for us. more about what Christ can do for us as we work in and through Christ in our community. So the question for this meditation is, as we think about this theology of more, what more do you need in your life? Is it that you need more dignity and more value? Do you need more love, more freedom to love? Do you need more hope, more power? So I hope you find your more. John wishes and blesses you with more. And I give you more of my peace and my love as well.